At Davis Wade Stadium in Starkville, this is ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico. Folks, you're watching the SEC on ESPN, and this is the 108th meeting between Mississippi State and number 12, Alabama. It's 14-0 for the Crimson Tide. They've taken advantage of a Mississippi State turnover. And we got a flag down on the play on 3rd down and 1.
False start, offense number 58, 5-yard penalty. It remains 3 down.
So they'll bring it back. Mississippi State coming in with a record of 2-2. Woody cuts it up, got a seam, a yawning hole. Brought down at the 15-yard line, and the running back, Woody Marks, who got his nickname from the character in Toy Story, and he wasn't playing around. 29 yards.
Yeah, a little split zone. Watch the cross block in there across the double team, and all Woody Marks had to say is reach for the sky. I'm gone, man.
There he is again, back-to-back. 4-yard gain tackled by Malachi Moore. Good to see him running with authority after being shaken up a little bit earlier if you're just joining us.
Exactly, and we talked about the fact that you're not going to hurt this defense by running to the edge. They are too fast and too good, and Marks is down again.
Well, you got to see this.
Oh, yeah. This is the second time he's taken a knee.
Talked about it a little bit earlier. If you're just joining us, Woody Marks is so important in the run and the pass game when it comes to Mississippi State's offense. 2nd down and 6. Marks being tended to by the athletic training staff. Coach Arnett watching. We're going to take a break and come right back after this. Welcome back, everyone, to Starkville, Mississippi. Davis Wade Stadium, the 108th chapter of Mississippi State against Alabama. Mark Jones chopping it up with Rod Gilmore. Quint Kessenich down on the sidelines. Michael Wright at quarterback now. They've changed QBs on the 10th play of the drive. He keeps it and runs up the middle down to the 8-yard line. It'll be 3rd down. And Rod, we talked a little bit earlier about the recipe for the upset. What does it look like?
Well, it's not really all that complicated here. I mean, you got to have some shock and awe when you're facing a team you haven't beaten in 15 tries. You know,
right.
You got to do something, big plays and whatnot. And then the crowd has to get involved. You have to rattle Alabama. And they rattled Alabama early on. A couple of sacks, a bad snap, a muff punt. But Mississippi State couldn't take advantage of it.
This conversion would go a long way. 3rd and 4. Rogers back in, and he's going to be sacked. Back at the 13-yard line, 4th down coming up. So the Crimson Tide defense impervious on that play. And in comes the field goal unit for the Bulldogs.
You know, losing Woody Marks, those last 2 plays in the red zone really hurt them. And because he creates a matchup issue, and when you take him out of the game, now you struggle to find another matchup you can win with.
Kyle Ferry going to attempt this field goal from 31 yards out. And he just gets it inside that upright. Bulldogs on the board. Take a look at tonight's Bear Paint game plan. Our partner just alluded to the fact they created that shock and awe.
Yeah, you come up with a big play or something and then make Alabama feel the vibe, the environment, and they were feeling it in the first quarter. They were rattled by the cowbells and the screaming, and then rattled Milroe. They didn't let him throw the ball or get a pass off in the first quarter. Alabama didn't, but he busted a run on them.
Well, a few moments ago, Q caught up with head coach Arnett.
Coach, I just saw you walking in that huddle. What are you telling your guys right now?
Well, they picked up a big 3rd down conversion. Obviously, we needed it, and now we got a little more. You know, we got into a little bit of a rhythm. So now we're moving the ball, and now we need to finish off with points. It's a shame. It's a shame. It's 14-0 because that has not been the difference.
That's what I was going to say.
So far.
You guys had all the momentum, then poof, suddenly it's
Well,
gone, and the score is 14-zip. It's a really weird game flow.
Yeah, I think both teams are probably mad about some execution stuff. You know, I mean, they put the ball on the ground uncharacteristically a couple times, but I mean, you can't let the quarterback scramble, and you can't give them an interception return for a touchdown. So, I mean, but it's a closer game than the score says right now. We got to finish this off with points.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
It was 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. That field goal Just minutes into period 2. Has it 14-3. Here's Brooks on the return. Put his foot in the ground. Going to be stopped up shy of the 25-yard line. It'll be first down and 10 from there for Jalen Milroe.
I think if you're Alabama, you want to get Milroe comfortable. Yeah, he busted the 53-yard run, the scramble, but they haven't gotten him into rhythm throwing the ball, and they haven't really, used him on the perimeter yet. So protect him and let him throw the ball. He is an excellent deep ball passer.
He hasn't attempted a pass yet. That's that 53-yard sprint, as you alluded to, for the touchdown, and the other touchdown for the Crimson Tide coming on a pick 6.
2 tight ends in for Alabama makes it tougher on this Mississippi State front.
Bulldogs a little bit undermanned up front. Good feet and a nice run by Roydell Williams. He and McClellan complement each other so well in the backfield, Rod.
Yeah, they're very similar. They came in together. Look at this. You see that wide gap open for them? Quickness. When you go to 2 tight ends, you create more gaps. And Mississippi State can't cover all of them with their style of defense.
First down and 10. Milroe on the play fake. Got rid of it. Completes down to the 39-yard line. Catch and run by Malik Benson.
We talk about getting Milroe comfortable. Well, he looks comfortable here. Watch him take his time, buy some time, step out of the pocket, and comes off to his second read. Doesn't force it, doesn't rush it. A lot of patience there.
On the handoff, Williams got about 8 yards. Man, there was a lot of movement, a lot of formation going on there. Jet Johnson making the tackle for Mississippi State.
Yeah, 2 tight ends, and you pull a backside guard. Again, this is an attacking defense, high risk. When they attack, they go one gap at a time they're trying to cover. But when you have 2 more tight ends, you have more gaps to try to cover, and Alabama is exploiting that right now.
Second down and 2. Oots the tight end over to the right. Williams looking for a crease and stopped up by Jet Johnson. 1-yard gain. Hey, kick off your Week 4 NFL Sunday at a special time, 8:30 a.m. Eastern with a countdown crew on ESPN and the app. In our Monday Night Football matchup featuring Seahawks squaring off against the Giants, 8 Eastern, ABC, ESPN, Deportes with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2. Third down and 1. Milroe hands it off, and they're going to be stopped up the middle. That defense impregnable for Mississippi State. That is a major surge in the middle.
I thought that was Pickering, 22, who knifed through, split a double team, and reestablished a line of scrimmage a yard back. Just watch the center of your screen there. You see the scarlet helmets coming through? And it was Nate Pickering, 22, who got the most penetration.
Here's one more look.
Yeah. Pickering, Sean Preston, the safety.
Boy, Nick Saban got something to say there on the sidelines. We get a timeout. 4th and 2 coming up.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Geico, is brought to you by Target. Get ready for Target Circle Week, coming October 1st through 7th.
I'll tell you what, Nick Saban's blood pressure is not 120 over 80 right now.
He will let you know how he feels. Hey, his team was rattled. And he said at one point, enough. Enough of being rattled.
Will Reichert in to attempt a field goal on 4th and 2 from 48 yards out. 7 for 7 on the season. He's made 20 straight field goals. And there's number 21. As they go up 17-3, we check in with the studio.
All right, Mark Jones, thank you. I've got your Capital One rewarding performance. It goes to Dylan Gabriel. Oklahoma having a good night, up 47-20 on Iowa State. Gabriel, 3 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground. Is Boomer Sooner and Gabriel look tuned up for Texas next week?
All right, back under the lights here in Starkville, Mississippi. Alabama going up 17-3, trying to make it 16 consecutive wins against Mississippi State. Let's take a little inventory and get you up to speed on what's transpired if you're just joining us.
I got a
in
question.
just a minute. Talk to me.
Would you rather, if you're an Alabama player, want to deal with the noise or Saban yelling at you?
I'll take the noise.
Now, that last shot of Saban, he wasn't even yelling at a player. He was talking to a coach in the booth.
Yeah, he was hot. 3-1 coming into the game tonight, and he had laid out clearly some of the pitfalls and dangers of going on the road in the SEC West with this team that's still a little bit of a work in progress.
Young team, young quarterback, hostile environment, and again, an SEC game at night is crazy. Crazy environment.
From the 3-yard line, this is Griffin. Tulu got a seam, got a crease. Oh, he got brought down at the 37, but man, what an education and acceleration there by Tulu Griffin.
He is an outstanding return guy and an excellent receiver. Remember last week, 256 yards receiving. He reads this perfectly, finds a little bit of a lane in a wall, and accelerates. And now, Jonesy, if he's caught his breath, go right back to him. Get him back out on the field. They have not targeted him enough tonight.
He's so important. Remember last January, he went to social media to announce that he was entering the transfer portal. And then a couple of weeks later changed his mind after meeting with coach. Good thing for the Bulldogs that he stayed. That pass incomplete. No flag on the play intended for Whitmore.
Pass interference is the hardest call for officials, and it is a judgment call. And when you have a hand on a guy, that does not mean pass interference. But you want to talk about a guy who can make you want to commit it? This guy does.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's some nice ice, right?
Yeah, he got a condo on his neck right there. More carrots than a rabbit around his neck, Q.
He's quiet. He's a different guy on Saturdays, though, man. He flips the switch, and they've yet to get him uncorked. Here he is on a reverse.
Let's see what he
if
does.
He can explode outside, and Alabama just runs it down. But they want to use him in screens, the fly sweep. Sometimes as a running back with some handoffs. They haven't attempted to throw the ball to him deep like they did last week when he had all sorts of success. They got to move him to create some matchups against the safeties and the linebackers. And if you missed it last week, he had 7 receptions, 256 in a school record. He was too loose.
Q, this defense is too fast for the fly sweep stuff. You know, put him in the slot, get him matched up on the safeties, and you might have something. But, you know, running sideways against these guys,
East West doesn't seem to work yet. 3rd and 8. Little pressure coming. And they picked up the first down. Pass complete to Pittman. Pittman in for Marks right now and doing a good job making like Marks as a receiver. Rob.
Yeah, option route out of the backfield. He chooses to go inside. A good matchup. But watch Rogers. Rogers knows he's going to take a hit. He hangs in there and waits for the circle option route over the middle.
Out of Hines Community College here in Mississippi.
There it is. Decides to go inside where the backers had vacated. Pittman in for Marks.
First down and 10 from the 40. Pittman now motions into the backfield. On the handoff. And Alabama limiting that gain to about 2 yards.
Listen, partner, I've been impressed with Rogers so far. Remember,
which part of his game?
Well, just his confidence in this system. This is a guy who's been running the air raid offense since he was a kid. His dad coached it in high school. It was the only thing he knew. He went and played for Mike Leach, ran the air raid. Now he's got to learn how to deal with tight ends on the field, play action, how to turn his back on the defense and read. Whole different system.
Making that adjustment. Had some company after the ball fake and throws it out of bounds wisely. Marshall was there to apply a little bit of pressure, and Gardner Minshew, one of his mentors too, right? When you're talking about Rogers, a guy that is very familiar with the system as well.
Yeah, Minshew played for Mike Leach at Washington State, and then he's with the Colts now in the NFL, and he was the big brother. And so watching film all these years, now all that has been tossed out by Rogers as he's adapted to this new system.
2nd down and 8. They run it. Woody Marks back in and looking spry on that mini sprint. Jalen Key with the tackle.
He's got that left ankle taped up heavily, so we assume that was the issue he was having earlier. And a tremendous. Now watch the right side of the line. See the double team and see how they get everything pushed back inside? And a nice cut off the right ankle for Woody.
Good eyes, Rod. You're a doctor and a lawyer. Left ankle. He's got a brace under the tape, so it looks like he's wearing a ski boot.
Yeah, it's pretty thick. Rogers throws it away. Beyond the line of scrimmage, receiver in the area, no grounding as a result. 7:15 to go in the second quarter. But look at that thing. It looks almost as big as a cast.
I think he was right. Yeah, it looks like a ski boot. Let's see how he handles things when he's going to his left, but clearly no problem going to his right.
Mississippi State record of 40 consecutive games played to start his career. From the 28-yard line. 2nd and 10. Harmon in motion, sets. Here's Harmon. Got an edge. Picks up the first down, and it's brought down to the 15. They move the chains.
This is just option football. Modern day option football. Fake the run, quarterback has a choice. Keep it or throw it to your receiver that went in motion to come all the way. That's your tight end, Harmon. So look, option football. One option, second option, toss it out there to him, let him go run with it. And now if you're Mississippi State, you're in business, and this is 4th down territory. You need a touchdown here.
Mike Wright now in at quarterback for Will Rogers. He scored a touchdown in the red zone already this year for the Bulldogs. Keeps it. Right! The right time! Touchdown! I mentioned a moment ago, he scored earlier in the red zone, and this is where he is especially lethal with his speed. His 2nd touchdown of the year.
Quarterback run game.
And Rod, it almost feels like the Bulldogs have found a little bit of rhythm offensively.
They have found a way to get back, and listen to the crowd. It is crazy.
So is he. South Carolina defeated Mississippi State 37-30 last week. And right now, the Bulldogs back in this football game, and the crowd coming alive after that touchdown run by Mike Wright. Brooks back for the kick. And he'll watch it go into the end zone. 1st and 10 from the 25.
Jonesy, let's go back to this touchdown play. This offensive line does a tremendous job on this zone read. Everything gets washed down to the right. Watch the blocking, the center, guard, and everybody pushes everything to the right side. You bring your tight end back around to kick out, and then you've got the zone read action in here. And Wright reads it perfectly, doesn't worry about the unblocked defender, and shows you his jets. Don't block that guy, block the guy on the edge, and here comes the quarterback right at you, perfectly read.
Untouched.
You think Nick Saban noticed that wasn't the way he wanted it played?
Here's his quarterback, Milroe, trying to get to the edge and pushed out of bounds after a gain of about 5, close to 6 yards. Jalen Milroe waited his time.
Partner. Go ahead.
To become starting quarterback and ready for the opportunity. Everything pointing and lining up his way, he feels.
Yeah, remember, they've been a slow starting team. 17 points tonight, 7 from the defense in this ball game.
Milroe feels like they got their swagger back in that win last week. Sidesteps, still on his feet. Tried to straight arm Richardson, and Richardson right there made the tackle. Sets up 3rd down and 4 as we take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Capital One.
Are you as shocked as I am that there's only one one SEC team in the top 10. Look at all the Pac-12 teams, although Utah is going to fall out after Oregon State knocked them off Friday night.
Boy, the irony of the Pac-12 having a fantastic year considering the changing landscape. And boy, Coach Prime's Buffaloes really showed well for themselves, albeit in defeat today against a very good USC team.
Didn't they? Wow.
Yep. 3rd and 4, we get a timeout on the field. Back with more on the other side. Welcome back, everyone, to Starkville. Alabama with the football.
It is loud here.
I can't hear you.
Now they have to stop that when the center gets over the ball. They can yell, but they can't use the cowbells once it happens.
Alabama's 0 for 3 on 3rd downs today. Milroe got rid of it quickly, complete. And that's going to be a 1st down. Brooks with a nice run after catch. Just enough, apparently, to move the chains, Rod.
You're not amazed, as I am, that you can get 60,000 people on cue.
To be quiet.
To be quiet?
Yeah.
Or at least to stop ringing the cowbells?
Well choreographed. They got it figured out here. They've been doing it for a while. One of the great college football traditions. Milroe on the move. Fake that little jump pass and steps out of bounds about 4 yards shy of the 1st down. Got 6 on the play.
Jonesy, 1 pass so far tonight for Alabama.
What does that say about their overall offense?
I think this says they're being conservative. They're concerned about the noise and the ability to make the intermediate throw, because really Milroe is great at the deep throw, and the intermediate throw becomes a little bit complex if you have these issues going on with the crowd and trying to go from one read to another.
Oots in motion. Milroe with the toss to the wide side of the field. That's McClellan, and he's going to be brought down right near that 1st down marker. Crumedy making the tackle along with Johnson.
You know, I bet if Q had it his way, Q would say, just go to the quarterback run game. What are you doing, right, Q?
Yeah.
They're running out of clock.
Yep. We're going to run it down and call the timeout. Nick Saban said earlier this week that he wants Milroe to play like a point guard in basketball. I want my guy at quarterback to have 13 assists, get the shooters their shots at the right spots. I want him to take care of the ball. I don't want him to turn it over. I don't want him to play hero ball. Interesting analogy there.
Yeah. Perfect analogy, but he hasn't allowed him to throw it much yet, to be careful with the football and to get that assist.
Our colleague Robert Griffin had Alabama. Here's what he had to say about their situation.
Last week, he threw an interception in the red zone, and he showed true grit by coming back and throwing a touchdown pass in the face of adversity with the guy barreling down on him. This coaching staff with Tommy Rees has to make sure that they put plays in the offense that Milroe is familiar with, utilize his athleticism, and then allow him to build that confidence as a passer of the football.
I'd say he's right on the money, and we haven't seen confidence yet in the passing game. It is all about the ground and the legs.
3rd and 1. Going to keep it himself. Looks like they blew it dead. Looks like we've got some illegal motion. Amari Niblack.
False start. Offense number 84. 5-yard penalty.
Niblack, the culprit there, with 3.5 minutes to go. So they'll move it back.
All right, that's going to change your play call now. Now, do you trust your quarterback enough to let him do what he really is most comfortable with, which is the drop-back passing game? And we haven't seen Isaiah Bond, 17, down the field yet. So maybe you drop back and give him a chance to get comfortable, get confident, and throw his favorite route, which is that deep over where they run off half the secondary and you bring another receiver across.
He hit Jalen Hale on a deep ball last week in that victory, 3rd and 6. Niblack in motion. There's the throw on the money. Cash to Niblack to move the chains.
You see how he flicks that out there? He doesn't really drive his legs. Doesn't have to. He's so strong, and he can flick it with his wrist. And that's the kind of thing that gives him confidence. Watch this. Lower body ain't going to move a whole lot. Watch a little flick. Little flick of the wrist.
Now,
like throwing a dart.
move the chains with a little over 3 minutes to go here in the first half. Law in motion. They're going to hand it off to McClellan. Puts his hat down. Some determined running. Relentless. Got 12 on the play and moves the chains again.
Yeah, really good play inside. Duo, double team blocks by the guard and center right up to get to the linebackers. And then you got your running back simply picking where he wants to go.
Wow.
Perfect.
From the 32. They run it again to McClellan. Got about 8 that time. Boy, that offensive line really coming together. They have solved some of their woes from a week ago when they gave up 4 sacks in that game.
Yeah, that is still an issue. They gave up a couple sacks in the first quarter. But the run game, this is a young offensive line, and they're powerful, and they're big. That left side, 360, 350. Wow.
Milroe on the move. Little pass to Oots. And we got a flag down on the play. With 1:54 to go.
You know, when you go out there that far on a run play, you get your offensive lineman down the field.
I know where you're going with that.
Yeah, they don't know it's going to be thrown.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Offense number 65. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat second down.
Yeah, I don't blame J.C. Latham. He's thinking option football, and he's got to go out and block. He gets down the field, and because Milroe was behind the tight end, that's a forward pass.
Yeah. Tell you what, Zach Arnett has fewer wins than Nick Saban has national championships. Stark contrast in experience.
Arnett is keeping his guys calm. They're hanging in there.
Arnett says Alabama's really fun to watch unless you have to play them that week. 2nd and 7. Hale out to the top of the screen. He comes back underneath. Complete to his back. McClellan broke a tackle all the way down to the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st down and goal on the 19-yard catch and run.
I am happy for McClellan to see him get his shot this year. He's sharing that spot with Williams, a guy who's set behind Najee Harris, Brian Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Gets his chance this season.
Making the most of it, especially tonight. Fell down right near the line of scrimmage. 5'11", 210 pounds.
Tore his ACL a couple years ago, as did his running mate, Williams.
What about that? Both
running backs tore ACLs the same season, rehabbed together, and they're both sharing that running back spot here in 2023.
Let's check in with the studio.
All right, guys, coming up on the college football halftime report, college football final halftime report, LSU Ole Miss scoring fest back and forth. Plus, it was a Brock party for Georgia and a ray of sunshine for Kentucky. Dan Mullen, Joey Galloway join me coming up on the college football final halftime report.
I wonder if Matt and Joey have figured out the SEC West yet. I mean, LSU, 2 losses now. Mississippi 1. Bama 1 SEC team in the top 10.
Different times in college football.
Pac-12, 4 teams in the top 10. Dogs and cats living together.
Hey, that's next. 2nd and goal.
Milroe, 66 yards rushing already tonight and a touchdown.
Going to hand it off again to McClellan. Keeps those legs churning. Wow, interminable effort by Jace McClellan. Picked up 8 on the play. That pile moved from the 5 all the way down to the 2. Talk about yards after contact.
Oh, yeah, he's carrying, folks. You can see the benefit of all the time in the weight room. The Olympic lifts, the squats, all that leg drive, carrying, what, about 1,200 pounds of defenders?
Man. And here's a look at Milroe. Hugh, what do you got down there about your Bulldog buddy?
This is Dak, named after the famed quarterback here at Mississippi State. Look at that protruding jaw. He's got the folds of skin. He weighs 57 pounds. He's the live mascot, and he's going to try to make it through this entire game. If the weather cools down, he should see all 4 quarters. If not, they'll send him home packing. Lots
of water. Dak got to hydrate.
I think some of these fans are hydrated too.
12th play of the drive for Alabama coming up. 3rd down and goal. Jace McClellan in the backfield beside Jalen Milroe.
If you've got to run blitz Mississippi State, now's the time.
Touchdown Alabama. McClellan.
Again, extra tight ends. 3 tight ends. And that creates extra gaps. And when you attack, you can't cover all of them. Wide open middle of the field for McClellan.
They rode him like Seabiscuit on that drive. A methodical, inexorable 13-play drive results in Jace McClellan's 3rd rushing touchdown of the season, the 13th of his career, and the Crimson Tide up by a couple of touchdowns.
Mississippi State, watch what happens here. They are sending their linebackers, but again, extra gaps to protect, and you get a great block inside by McLaughlin, the center. I think both of us could have walked through that thing. Not to take anything away from McClellan.
That offensive line, though, did a nice job on that drive.
Listen,
right?
I got to tell you, this offensive line is going to be really, really good. The only issue they have is that they're young in a lot of spots.
Latham, Dalcourt, McLaughlin, Booker, and Caden Proctor. Q?
A quick point about the line from Coach Saban this week. Said technique has been critical with these young guys. Get your hands inside and put your second step on the ground. And what he's alluding to there is that initial punch and thrust, but then finishing it to get movement. And on that last drive, that line, this young line, big guys, 360, 352, 360. It's a new generation of weight in terms of offensive linemen. They got great movement on that last drive. They're really moving their feet well.
Yeah, Q, you're absolutely right. You can see the confidence that Nick Saban has in them. He knows how talented they are because they have really gone to the running game tonight and not really worried about throwing it that much in this environment. They've decided, you know what? We got a really good defense and we got a really good offensive line. Let's pound it.
Boy, that graphic, a good comparison between this Alabama offensive line and how it stacks up. Even heavier than the offensive line of the New England Patriots. Thomas on the return. It'll be 1st and 10 from there with 1:03 to go in the opening half.
And for Mississippi State, the key play here is the first one. Whether you decide to try and get points in this last minute depends on how you do on this first play. The odds are against you, the book would say, in getting points here in this situation. But if you get enough yardage on the first play, now because you got timeouts, no, they don't have any timeouts left. They're all gone, which makes it even less likely. But you still need a big play here to try to move the chains and make this drive happen.
Coach Arnett telling us a little bit earlier yesterday that this Alabama defense is as good as any defense they'll see. And there's an illustration. The interception by Campbell.
And that is not what you expect from a quarterback who is starting his 36th, 37th game.
Yep, 37.
In this situation. And there was never a window. That window is not open. It is not open, and he throws it even behind his intended receiver, Harmon, but the window was closed.
Second turnover of the day.
Look at from this vantage point. There is not an open window. Look at where the linebacker is. Look at where Campbell is.
Yeah.
He's sitting right there, and to the right you had a safety sitting. There was not an open window.
So 57 seconds to go. Crimson Tide with pretty good field position here. They go back to the running game. Roydell Williams that time picked up about 3. Well, you can't have your most experienced player, your quarterback, making erroneous decisions like the one he just made.
No, it's been an Alabama problem for him over the years. 5 picks, no touchdowns. Tonight, 2 picks, sacked a couple times.
30 of 60 a season ago in defeat. Game ended up 30-9. Right now, Alabama without any timeouts now remaining. Neither does Mississippi State after the last one.
Yeah, but with 51 seconds here and the ball at the 28, Alabama can pretty much do or call whatever they want offensively. They don't have to worry about, the clock running out on them. If they want to run the ball, they can. If they want to work it down the middle, through the air, they can. I still think there's a place here for them to let Milroe take a shot. And again, Isaiah Bond is the guy that is their best receiver, but they have not really gone after him, targeted him much tonight.
There he is. Benson split wide to the bottom of your screen. He's looking deep over the middle, caught. And on cue, it's going to be 1st and goal. There's the guy you were alluding to, Bond, Isaiah Bond.
Isaiah Bond, sorry. Yeah, and good protection and a deep crossing route. Plenty of time.
Milroe going to run it, put his foot in the ground, cut north, got to touchdown. And it came out, but he was in first. It's going to be ruled a touchdown.
Jones, you know what's so impressive about this? The decision making. He was decisive about deciding to run. Didn't waste any time. Didn't try to force the ball into the end zone. Remember, he threw a pick last week in the red zone. And on that, he didn't waste any time. Now, I'm not forcing it. I'm getting out of here. Look at this. Looks right. Doesn't see a second read. I'm out of here. And boy, did he put a move on Sean Preston,
did he ever.
The middle safety.
Second touchdown tonight for Milroe. And here's a look from the pylon cam. Yeah, he was in before it came out.
Yep, breaks the plane. Well, last week, Milroe was efficient in the passing game. Tonight, he's been extraordinary in the running game.
They're taking a look at that last play. They won 24-10 last week, and in wake of that, Milroe said, I feel like as a team, we got our swag back. See, he's across there, and he's still got good control of the ball.
Yeah.
He did.
Well, once he breaks the plane, and he had control of it as he broke the plane, so that's got to be a touchdown. Remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call. And I don't know, correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I don't see anything to say you got to overturn that call. I might even confirm it with that.
Yeah. Jalen Milroe, going back a couple of years before deciding to come to Alabama, he initially was headed to Texas. Ironically, the team that vanquished Alabama in their season opener, but
well,
he's progressing.
He's a Texas guy, clear eyes, full heart, and committed to Texas. And then, as I understand it, he was interested in playing for Sark. Sark was the OC here at Alabama.
Yep.
And then Sark left and went to Texas after he changed. And you see, again, this replay, he had broken the plane. The ball broke the plane, to be more specific right there. That ball is beyond the plane.
Yeah.
So that's the touchdown.
Can't see this being overturned.
After further review, the ruling of touchdown stands.
That's the right call.
There it is.
You know, and from the Mississippi State perspective, the worst thing, this takes the air out of the stadium.
Down 20 points now. Rod, you know, they had talked about trying to spy Jalen Milroe, especially in third down situations. They've lost the spy. They put on a disguise, and spy game ain't working right now.
Well, you don't need Noah Lyles, but you need somebody who can run.
31 seconds to go in the opening half. Mississippi State has given it away twice, resulting in 14 points for Alabama.
It's the NFL like you've never seen it before. Falcons and Jaguars will transform into the world of Toy Story in real time. Tune in for Toy Story Fun Day Football, Sunday at 9:30 a.m. on ESPN+.
I'm a big Toy Story guy.
Same.
Watch that even when my kids, all three of my kids got older, still stayed with the Toy Story thing. And I'm gonna watch that. It's gonna be interesting to see how they transfer that to the players. 9:30 Eastern time.
Yeah, I think Woody Marks, who watched this one, he said he loved all the movies except the last one that didn't have Woody in it.
Yeah.
But we'll have Woody in it tomorrow.
Yeah. And of course, the traditional game available on ESPN+. What was the song? Was it "You Got a Friend in Me"?
Yeah.
You got
Look
a
at
friend
you.
in me.
Look at you. All over it. I love it.
31 seconds to go. Bulldogs looking for some friends right now. And by 3 touchdowns. Thomas on the kickoff return. Tried to stiff arm and pushed out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Tell you what, Will Rogers is going to have to regain his composure and poise. A guy that prior to this point of the season had been pretty much imperturbable, unbothered by circumstance, has been rattled here tonight.
You know, outside of Dak Prescott, he's the best quarterback Mississippi State has ever had. He's 29 school records.
They're just going to take a knee and go into the locker room. Regroup. Down by 21 points, but you would never know it in looking at the expressions of Nick Saban.
Nick Saban turned this game around. Alabama was rattled, and then Nick went off and had enough, and his team started playing better.
31-10 at the break. Bulldogs going to try and regroup, and in that time, let's go back to the studio.
That escalated quickly.
You're watching a presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ESPN. A new era of the SEC begins in 2024 on ESPN and ABC.
Welcome back under the lights in Starkville, Mississippi. This is the ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Geico. You're watching the SEC on ESPN in this battle between a couple of schools separated by 90 miles. As we take a look at Now What Moments, brought to you by Prudential. Now what?
That first quarter, Alabama was rattled. A couple sacks, a bad snap, a false start, a muff punt, and Nick Saban was on everybody. Players, coaches, his O coordinator, offense team. It did not matter. He went after everyone and changed things in the first quarter.
Here's what he had to say to Quins at the end of the half.
Coach, how do you characterize the play of your offensive line in that second quarter?
Well, they did a great job. We're controlling the line of scrimmage. We're able to make some positive runs. We've done a better job of protecting the quarterback, so we've been able to make some throws down the fild.
What do you think changed in the flow of that game, from sloppiness to all of a sudden execution?
Did you see me get on him over there?
Yes, I did.
Well, maybe that's what changed it. I don't know. You make that call.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh.
He's not wrong.
Coach Saban got smoke for everybody in that first half.
Well, you know, I think he was like, I got a young team. It's a hostile environment. Let's get this with confidence. He said, no, enough of that. I've seen enough of this sloppiness with everybody. Play calling, you know, fundamentals, and he got after them, and it changed.
1st and 10. Let's see how Will Rogers responds here. in the third quarter. Jeffrey Pittman getting the start. Interesting to note at tailback in place of Woody Marks here on the first play of the third quarter. Here's Griffin trying to get him the ball a little bit more, but Tulu bottled up, and that's going to be a loss of about 1 on the play. What do you make? I mean, Coach Saban he's expressed himself to his team. Yeah. And they seem like they're used to taking that kind of smoke from him. And it was like, yes, coach, next.
Well, you got to have a thick skin. And you see, even the assistant coaches have to have a thick skin. But he was justified. I mean, they were rattled and out of sorts. And he got them right.
Marks back in the ball game. Picks up the first down. Jo'quavious Marks with that big wrap on his ankle that Q reported on a little bit earlier, but good enough to pick up 13, and you see him limping off to the sides.
Well, they need him, but they may not have a healthy Marks the rest of the way. They got to get Will Rogers right. He's a little shook.
Completed 3 of his last 9. Looking deep, hit as he let go of it, but he found his target. Tulu Griffin with the first down on Alabama's side of midfield.
And that might be the thing that gets him going. He stood in there, took the heat, and completed the 15-yard pass to Griffin, the guy that he needs to get the ball to.
First down and 10. They spotted at the 48-yard line. Rogers, the most experienced quarterback in the conference.
Wright is in there now.
Here's Pittman. Cuts it north-south. Keeps those legs moving, and Q, he picks up a first down.
It's a real positive start here this third quarter for this Bulldog team under first-year head coach Zach Garnett. And coach is not, let's say, into cliches. He wouldn't sugarcoat things either. He just went up to me and said, we got to get the ball. We got to go down and score. Defensively, we got to somehow find a way to stop. And I think the biggest challenge for Mississippi State in this game is their defensive line. Banged up. And you saw the way Alabama started leaning on them in the last 10 minutes of that first half.
Mike Wright came in at quarterback for that play and handed it off to Pittman. No gain on the play. Malachi Moore making the stop.
Well, Q is right on the money about Mississippi State's issues with their defensive line. DeMonte Russell out, Trevion Williams out, and they're dealing with an offensive line that is bigger, stronger, and using 2 and sometimes 3 tight ends. So,
really loved our meeting with Coach Arnett yesterday. Get into that in a little bit. Rogers scrambling, got an alley, nobody near him, and he tiptoes out of bounds at about the 21-yard line. First down, Bulldogs.
See how his confidence grew after he completed that 15-yard pass to Tulu Griffin. More decisive on when to scramble and to come off of his reads. And this is a guy who struggled in that second quarter, 3 of 9 throwing the ball, and now knows that he wants to make up for that pick right before halftime.
Mike Wright, though, comes in at quarterback for this next play. Wright scored a touchdown in the first half. He's the fastest player on this team. Keeps it on the predetermined quarterback run and picks up about 3 on the play. Campbell making the tackle. I was talking about Coach Arnett. There's no pretense to him, folks. He realizes that coaching has value, but it really is, when you boil it down, it's about the players.
He's made that clear. You ask him about why his team did this well, he said, it's the players.
Yep.
It's not me. Coaching's not the difference, it's the players.
Worked with Mike Leach, Rocky Long, a couple of great influences. Jeffrey Pittman still on his feet, cuts it up inside the 5, first and goal, Mississippi State. 18-yard pickup.
Yeah, the fans like the quarterback run game. Zone read here. You see the great blocking to the right, and huge hole opened up on that right side for Pittman.
Yeah, Cameron Jones with a good block there. The starting left tackle.
6'5", 315 pounds.
From the 4-yard line, first and goal. Pittman sets. Pittman weaving and stopped up at about the 2-yard line. Showing a little Bulldog mentality pulling their way inside the 5.
Not letting go, huh?
No.
He's
clamping on it.
Got a mouthful, and they are not letting go.
Mike Wright coming in.
This is what they need to get back in the game. First possession, get a touchdown, and then get a stop. Score and a stop creates momentum.
Two receivers split to the bottom of your screen. They hand it off. Pittman brought down short of the goal line. It'll set up an interesting 3rd and goal from about the 2. Picked up a yard on the play. What are you thinking, Rod, in terms of a play call here? Wright doesn't come in. It's going to be Will Rogers.
I think it's 4 down territory, and I would rather see Will Rogers under center here.
Okay.
And turn around and give it to a back downhill. And if you don't get in, maybe you get to the 1 close enough to where you have a chance to let your quarterback sneak it on the 4th down. But they cannot settle for a field goal down here.
11th play of the drive. He's going to throw it. Pittman, a race to the end zone, got there. Jeffrey Pittman extending.
Yeah, and this is really on Pittman. Watch him use his entire body. Left hand, one-handed catch. Tuck it away, spin, drive, power your way into the end zone. That was not the best thrown ball, but Pittman made it look wonderful.
Pittman got the majority of snaps on that drive for the shaken up Woody Marks.
I think they're looking to
see where his knee was down, right?
Yeah, did he break the plane with the ball?
Nothing coming easy tonight for Mississippi State. Here's another look.
Pylon cam sees all.
The ball was over, though.
Yeah, knee was down, ball was already across the plane. That pylon view is sweet. I think they may be wondering if his knee grazed the ground a little bit further back. I don't think it did.
If it did, it was maybe just one blade of grass.
Yeah.
See, he's in right there.
Yeah, that's a touchdown right there.
I'm guessing that the touchdown's going to stand.
Touchdown stands.
Boy, how big was that touchdown drive for Mississippi State here in the 3rd quarter, Rod?
Well, it took almost 6 minutes, and it was a grind it out. You got your quarterback a little bit more confident because he was able to make a big throw and also to run, and you push it in exactly what you need to start the 3rd quarter. And now the question becomes, can your defense hold up against that massive offensive line that's been pushing them around all night?
Extra point is good, and it's a 14-point game. And the lid has finally come off for quarterback Will Rogers. After all those L's he's taken against Alabama, he finally throws his first touchdown pass against the Tide. Back after this.
What's my definition of success? Listening to what your heart said.
We have a Who's ruling the moment, brought to you by Burger King. An impressive drive for the Bulldogs here.
Yeah, they counted on their back to get involved. Quarterback got some confidence, but it was Pittman and Marks who made it happen. A tremendous catch by Pittman on the goal line, contorting his body, a one-handed catch. And they are 2 possessions down. This crowd is going to be into this next series.
Well, for Rogers there on the bench, his 89th career touchdown pass. That ties Peyton Manning for 4th in SEC history. On the return, this is Kendrick Law. Tried to rip the ball away from him. Going to be stopped up just beyond the 25. Hey, next Saturday, we'll have the 119th annual Red River Rivalry game. Number 14 Oklahoma taking on number 3 Texas at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, noon Eastern on ABC. And here's next Saturday's SEC Network college football lineup. All games are also available on ESPN app.
Hey, Jonesy.
Talk to me.
You see that 3 safety look that they play with?
Okay.
That guy right there, the middle safety, Sean Preston, he's got to get more involved. They got to have him involved to help stop the run. And he can do it. He comes from 10 yards deep at times, but he's got to be more involved to help them shut down this rushing attack. Here he comes up.
They run it, and they stop the run up. They limited to just a yard gain. There it is, Rod. Called it.
This is a defense that believes in moving their defensive front. They slant, they take chances, and they attack with their linebackers. But you need that 8th guy in the box, that middle safety, who can see things and come up and really help you shut down the rushing attack.
Matt Brock, the defensive coordinator. There's a look at Preston. His brother, Shaz, plays for Alabama as a receiver. Milroe finds his man. What a catch. Niblack went high in the air to bring it down. And an authoritative throw by Jalen Milroe.
I think this is Alabama's #1 pass route. You see Niblack running across the field. They clear out with a deep route on that side, and then this deep cross over to that vacated area.
Out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Makes it 1st down and 10 at midfield. Toss into the boundary, nowhere to go for McClellan. He's going to be brought down at the 45 for a loss on the play. DeCarlos Nicholson makes the tackle. That's up 2nd down and long. What a good read that time. Part of that 3-3-5.
4-star recruit, number 4 ESPN JC recruit, joined Mississippi State.
Milroe hands it off. McClellan got about 4 yards back. Jet Johnson making the tackle on the play. 6'2" graduate student out of Tupelo, Mississippi. 3rd and long.
Yeah, and you know, you want your linebackers, Jet Johnson 44, Nathaniel Watson 14, to be active. Right now, you need them to play good pass defense. You need them to be able to plug that hole over the middle, because this is a passing down for Alabama.
This is a Mississippi State front that was a little bit short on bodies tonight, doing a nice job. Milroe surveys, got rid of it in time, found his man again. Niblack in heavy rush hour traffic. 3 tacklers hit him immediately, but he held on for a 20-yard pickup.
Oh, again, Milroe playing with more confidence after that first quarter. Watch him buy time and keep his eyes downfield. Now, he can take off, but he is looking for 1st down yardage. He knows exactly where his receiver, Niblack, is going to be, and finds him.
Showing a lot of patience and poise in the pocket. Milroe connects again down to the 27-yard line. Kendrick Law.
You know, we haven't talked about it in a while, but the strength of his arm strength, that flick of the wrist, that dart on that out, that's tremendous.
He's connected on his last 14 passes going back to the previous game last week, that win against Mississippi. 2nd and 5. 8 of 8 tonight. They run it between the tackles. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 1. Roydell Williams that time picked up 4.
Yeah, back to that offensive line. You know, you talk about Milroe's arm strength. When I watched him on tape, you know who he reminded me of?
Who's that?
Michael Vick. Just that little flick with so much authority on the ball, you know, without using the lower half of his body. They may use the lower half of his body to run it here, but
sure did. And he picks up the 1st down. Milroe moves the chains. Got down to the 20. It'll be 1st down and 10.
He's just got that tremendous ability. It's rare to see a quarterback, you know, he's not Michael Vick, obviously, but he does this very much like Vick, the way he flicks that ball and can do it without having to take a big drive step with his lower half.
They concentrated on making tweaks and fixes in their red zone offense during practice this week. Let's see what they do here. Picks up 6. That's Roydell Williams. 2nd down and 4 coming up.
Yeah, you know, that offensive line, a little counter action. Right tackle, Latham, the right guard, Dalcourt, coming from that side to kick out. That's a big game. This offensive line, I mean, nobody's under 310, 15 pounds. Crazy.
When he steps on the scale, that big guy, it says to be continued. They run it on second down. Nowhere to go that time. Couldn't find a crease. Page right there making the tackle for Mississippi State. 3rd and 3. Bama has not converted on 3rd downs tonight.
Yeah,
and it started 0 for 3. They're 5 of 5 since.
Yeah, part of that's the protection. He's been protected when he had to throw. Sacked twice in the first quarter, not since.
Got to get to the 10 to get the first down. Pressure coming. And they sack Milroe back at the 20. Page again, the first one to arrive. And it's 4th down. In comes the field goal unit.
A smart call by Mississippi State, by Matt Brock, the defensive coordinator. Brought 6. You'll see them all come. Bring the linebackers, bring a safety. Outnumber Alabama, and you get the sack. Now, can you get a break on the field goal? You got the stop to keep him out of the end zone. Well, this guy's Mr. Automatic.
Yeah, Reichert has made 21 consecutive field goals. This one coming from 38, made one earlier. Make it 22 straight field goals to make it 34-17. So they cash out with a field goal. We'll be right back after this. Bulldogs with barks and bites while the embers burned and the sound, well, for some it was divine. No Dowsing and Bell before 1969. Inscribe their names to the maroon and white books, as well as the unstoppable Mr. Cooks. Speed, strength, and precision too. Catch me soon before molds and mildew. For some, the line seemed dull, not when the ship is anchored with a fortified hull. This last dog, he's now stacking the racks. Nathaniel and Peggy's loving son, Dak. Little spoken word for you here. Snap them fingers,
Snap them
Rodney.
fingers, man.
Q has a little bit more on that story in just a minute. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs from the 25-yard line. You know his name. Dak.
Back in Starkville, we salute the trailblazers and pioneers who plowed a trail for those on the field tonight. We head back to 1969. Frank Dowsing and Robert Bell here at Mississippi State. Dowsing from Tupelo, a great sprinter, ran the 100-yard dash in about 9.5 seconds. He was an All-American defensive back. And people at the time said he impacted Tupelo more than Elvis, who was born there. They were the first black players to play for the Bulldogs. Robert Bell and Dowsing led him to a winning season in 1970. Bell, defensive lineman from Meridian, Mass, who passed away in 2020. Known for his bull strength, being a force, but his grace off the field and his temperament. These were men who bridged the racial divide in the face of taunts, jeers, Confederate flags. They used kindness to transform.
Unbelievable story with those two. And Davis carries the football. Got to have so much respect for, as you mentioned, Q, the trailblazers, guys that had to face a lot of the vitriol at the time and some of the hate, death threats, etc., and still able to perform exceptionally well on the field, and in the case of one of them, on the track. Rodgers up top. A little bit too strong, intended for Xavion Thomas. Sets up 4th down and 4. So the Alabama defense forcing a punt to the chagrin of the fans here.
Yeah, they are, but I was still thinking about that little history lesson that you and Q gave us, and thanks for sharing that, and thank you to the Trailblazers.
Yes.
I mean, the Mississippi State players, Dak Prescott and everybody else, acknowledges and appreciates all that. But for them,
Players like that helping literally change the complexion of the entire conference. Fair catch by Kool-Aid at the 30-yard line. And we got a flag down on the field. With 1:31 to go.
Do you notice the great coverage by Arnold on that third down throw?
During the kick, holding, receiving team number 9. 10-yard penalty, minute the kick, first down.
Alabama has 2 corners that are really, really good. Kool-Aid, McKinstry gets all the attention, but Arnold's
You think it had
pretty good.
Are you alluding to the fact it had something to do with that conversation Coach Saban had with him earlier?
I think he reminded him. Listen, we talked about at the beginning of the game about Alabama having no margin for error.
Right.
That the one loss to Texas put them in that position. And it seemed like Alabama was, kind of sleepwalking, a little rattled, no sense of urgency. And Saban gave them a sense of urgency.
Yeah. Three in motion. They hand it off to Jace McClellan. McClellan and Williams have been a wonderful 1-2 punch. This is how you motivate and inspire sometimes. And just a moment ago, I'm not sure if you caught it, but Saban went over and made eye contact with Arnold, said, hey, let's go, guys. You guys good? And they gave him the nod back.
Yeah, well, Saban knows he has a defense that can be elite. And I feel like Alabama's finding their identity, that they know that they can rely on their offensive line. They can run the ball. They have a big play quarterback who can throw it deep and can really use his legs. And a defense that will shut folks down. That's Jaden
Crumedy.
And they
Injured
can
on the field, yeah.
They can ill afford another loss.
Yeah, they're already. Sorry, Rod. They're already without Trevion Williams and DeMonte Russell up front. And line of scrimmage players are the people you need to be successful against Alabama.
Well, we talk about style of defense. When you're Alabama and Georgia, you can play a 4-man front. You know why? Because you're at the top of the food chain.
5 stars?
You get the 5 stars. You get the 300-pounders. You get the guys who are 6'4" and they can run. You get all that. When you're Mississippi State and others, you don't. So you find other schools playing a 3-man front, a 3-3-5, using more linebackers because they can get linebackers. But the premium on big defensive linemen and big offensive linemen is huge, and it belongs to the Ohio States, Michigans, Alabama, Georgia. Those are the ones who get multiple players like that, and then you get everybody else who tries to find a way to make it even.
And for some of those 5-star players, as Nick Saban astutely pointed out this week from a colleague, he heard that some visits are now going for $5K per.
Yeah. Yeah, he was talking about name, image, and likeness.
Yes.
And, Nick is he's all for the players having the opportunity and the right to earn money. He'd just like to see some guardrails on NIL.
One thing for sure is recruits know how to say, Coach, the price of the brick is going up.
Well, Nick's not going to be very happy because I don't think there are going to be any guardrails. If you've been following the latest antitrust suit filed against the NCAA, there is very likely in the next 60 days going to be an injunction that will prohibit the NCAA from saying you can't have pay-for-play and that schools can't pay directly. And you know what the NCAA said to the court in its filing?
What's that?
We're not going to fight this. So I think Nick's going to be as mad as he was at his team when he finds out that guardrails are really unlikely to happen in NIL.
Yeah. He did say he did like NIL.
Yes.
Yep.
He just said it's not what he thought he and everybody else intended it to be.
Second and 5. Stopped up near the line of scrimmage. It's kind of reminiscent when you look at him communicating with his defensive back, the Camarion Richardson. Symbolic of, and then afterwards, my man, you good?
Yeah.
Let's go. That's the part that people need to know about and see.
Yeah, that's the part that often gets overlooked.
Yeah. Reminiscent of Coach Prime a couple of weeks ago with Jimmy Horn, who responded with the game-tying touchdown to send it into overtime. Deep shot up top and incomplete, intended for Jalen Hale. What a touchdown catch last week against Mississippi, and now it's 4th and 3. So the Bulldog defense gets off the field.
Yeah, did you see the effort by Jet Johnson, the linebacker? I mean, he was literally on his knees. Here he is, right here, right there, 44, to the right there. Watch him literally try and crawl to get to Jalen Milroe. I mean, you talk about effort and passion. Wow.
On display by Jet Johnson. Meanwhile, for Milroe, that was his first incompletion in 15 tries going back to the previous game. Fair catch called at the 28-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. Here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, the NFL London Games kicks off exclusively on ESPN+. The Falcons and Jags aren't just playing a game in London this weekend. They'll be playing in Andy's bedroom, too, because it'll transform into the world of Pixar's Toy Story. That's right. With the NFL players becoming the characters competing in real time. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app.
Let's make sure we watch Louis Riddick. Thanks to him for making the trip to London and allowing me to step in and join you for this week.
Man, great to have you, partner.
Sure he's going to enjoy the Toy Story version. He's allowed to watch a little bit of it.
1st and 10. Rodgers is going to hand it off. That's Seth Davis. So we've seen Davis, Pittman, who was prolific on the previous drive, and Woody Marks as well in the backfield get touches tonight.
Yeah, but no one gives you the same threat that Woody Marks gives you out of the backfield in the pass routes.
That's 3 quarters in the books under the lights here in Starkville. 15 minutes to play. Bulldogs trying to snap that 15-game losing streak against Alabama.
The moment is here. The MLB wildcard.
Welcome back, everyone. You're watching the SEC on ESPN. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live Más Student Section of the Year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn a lot more. Play fake by Rodgers. Underneath. Juggled but caught by Tulu Griffin for the first down.
Great route. He ran a shake route, kind of a fake the post and come back outside and lost his defender. Great change of direction.
Scored a touchdown last week in their loss on a deep post. He hasn't been able to shake loose yet.
He ran that route on Arnold. You know, Arnold says he talks to receivers all game long. Not in a negative way. He said, I just talk to him.
Little double reverse here. But well read by the defense. Xavion Thomas with nowhere to go. Pushed out of bounds. He'll lose about a yard. And yeah, Arnold probably had something to say after that play.
What did he tell us yesterday? He's like, I'm an old soul, old school man. You just, you want to see me play tomorrow? Watch me. I got it. I'm super bad. Little James Brown.
Yeah. Old soul, all right. You ready to give the drummer some. Rodgers gets it out. This is Harmon, and he's going to pick up about a yard on the play.
Have you ever been a part of meetings with players where you heard such an eclectic range
Unbelievable.
of music?
Musical taste. Yeah, Nathan Pickering, the nose guard, telling us he loves the country vibes of Johnny Cash and a few others.
Yeah.
We went from
Hank
James
Williams.
Brown to, Hank Williams, Johnny Cash.
Little Barry White.
Yep. One of the coaches. And, of course, Lil Baby Q. 3rd and 10. Rodgers going to be sacked. Q, I don't know if there's a song sad enough to describe that last play.
Wow. Don't forget about Little Baby.
Yeah?
And my man Offset. My main man Offset.
You and him are tight now, right?
Clout. That's my tune.
Clout. Yeah, do anything for clout.
Well,
fourth down coming up. They have to go for it here.
Yeah,
right?
Will Rogers we'll do anything to pick up a first down right now. And again, where is your guy? It's Griffin 5. He is your best and most productive receiver. Got to shake him loose.
Got a little bunch formation at the bottom of the screen there. Rogers trying to pull, can't fire, and is sacked. Alabama will take over at the 33 on downs. Dallas Turner, the first one to get there. That's the fourth sack of the day for the Crimson Tide defense.
Yeah, and we've talked about this defense and their ability to put pressure on you with four. Take a look out here. Watch number 15. This is Dallas Turner. Watch the pressure he puts on that left tackle. Inside, Strength gets underneath him and collapses the pocket. That makes it possible for everybody else to be there, but he is so quick and strong and dominant off the edge.
And that sends the fans here at Davis Wade Stadium heading for the exits. A little over 12.5 minutes to go. Milroe tosses it to Niblack, dragging a defender with him. There's a flag down.
Holding, offense number 45. 10-yard penalty to the previous spot. A big first down.
That's going to go against Oots, the tight end. They'll bring it back. Let's take a look at our game track brought to you by American Express. Some of the cogent, pertinent points of the game tonight.
Yeah, looking at this, you wouldn't realize that Alabama was rattled to start the game. I mean, things were not going right. Sacks, false starts, a muff punt, bad all the way around. And then Saban got after them, and look what Milroe's done. 9 pass attempts only, 10 rushes. Rogers really, first TD pass, had a pick right before halftime that changed the complexion of this game. 14 points off turnovers for Bama.
Tell you what, Jalen Milroe has shown pretty good discernment in the pocket and running this offense. Made a good decision to run out of bounds that time. It's going to be a loss of a few yards. Russell got there.
Yeah, he's getting knocked around. We saw him earlier having his left shoulder tended to, and it looked like he banged up something else over there on that tackle.
2nd and 23 now. Up by 17. Next week, Alabama will take on Texas A&M in College Station. Kyle Field. Milroe all day surveys. Finds his tight end. And that's going to be a first down all the way at the 20. Dupree. Boy, that really took the steam out of the Bulldogs defensively, didn't it?
And that's one of those plays that you don't realize how good it is until you go back and tape and look at it. Milroe was trying to go deep, and then he looked and he saw the double coverage and didn't force the ball. He came off of it and found his tight end for the first down. So that kind of decision making is huge for the quarterback for the Alabama offense.
1st and 10 from the 21. Milroe into the end zone. Got a man. No call. Incomplete. Niblack caught it, but didn't get a foot down, it appeared. Boy, great defense by Sean Preston Jr.
Yeah, and a great throw. Put it up there, give your guy a chance. Preston making Niblack go all the way.
Oh, he got a foot down. But
yeah, left foot down, right foot on the inline.
Did he control it through the catch?
And remember, you have to control the ball through the catch, but let's see. Left foot, it looks simultaneous. That is so close.
Next play, it's Roydell Williams. And he's going to pick up about 4. What an effort, though, by both players on that previous play.
Yeah. And remember, the call on the field is so important.
Right.
It's so hard to overturn a call unless you have indisputable video evidence. Catch. Left foot down, right foot just after on the out of bounds.
Does he have the ball, though?
Yeah, that left foot, I think his left foot is down, and I think he's got control of that ball. Does he hold it all the way through.
Yeah.
It's a moot point now because the play has already moved on.
Yeah. Hey, what about the throw? Right on the money.
False start, offense number 74. 5-yard penalty.
We know that every play, whether we pause for you guys to see it,
right,
every play is reviewed, so they felt confident that that was not a touchdown in real time. Now, we look at it.
Yeah.
Again, it's hard to tell how much control he had when that ball's on the back of the helmet.
Yeah. Sometimes you like to see guys get credit for the catch because of the effort. From the 22, 3rd and 11. Milroe underneath, complete to his back. McClellan going to be stopped up forward. Progress at about the 17. So 4th down coming up for the very reliable Will Reichert.
Well, you see the growth in Milroe. Not forcing the ball, not trying to get the touchdown, checking it down, recognizing the situation. He's got a field goal in his back pocket. He's also hurting.
A little grass out of his helmet. Then comes Reichert. Made 2 today from 48 and 38. This one from 34. He's made 22 consecutive field goals dating back to last year. Make it 23. And the meter still was running. The Tide coming in like a tsunami right now. Back after this.
Friday, 4 o'clock at the Junction. Doug ready to blow the whistle as these tailgaters are chomping at the bit to claim their spots. It's a mad rush as tailgaters claim their real estate.
What would it be without setting up the ping pong table first, right? You got to get your spot, get your table, maybe get your grill, bottles.
You sure that was ping pong?
Hey, PG-13 show, or just PG. Here's Tulu Griffin. Brought down after a short return, 8:59 to go.
You know,
a daunting challenge
SEC
ahead.
night games, Q, they know how to get it together, don't they?
Shockingly well behaved, but they send the pledges. All the sororities and fraternities send the pledges to wait it out, and they got to like camp out for the full day. And then the whistleblowers are allowed to step into the prized real estate to set up the tent for the rest of the sorority and fraternities and the alums. I did not see any pledge pins though.
I was told today that the tailgating continues far after the game tonight, too.
Bulldogs trying to get this party jumping again. 2-yard gain. Thomas with the catch. Oh, it's not ping pong. It's okay.
Yeah.
Ping
Told
pong
you
tables.
so.
Okay.
Told you so.
There you go.
When have you been to a tailgate and done ping pong?
Trying to rinse it a little bit. On 2nd down and 8, Rogers underneath, complete to Davis, and Davis falling forward to the 25-yard line. Mississippi State trying to avoid a 3-game losing streak. A couple of weeks ago, losing 41-14 at home against LSU, and then losing last week at South Carolina.
They got to get healthy.
37-30.
They got to get healthy. They got to get their defensive line players back. They get Western Michigan next week.
Steep learning curve for first-year head coach Zach Arnett. Rogers running and throws it out of bounds. Receivers run downfield, and it's 4th and 4. Look at the standings in the SEC East and West, and Mississippi defeating LSU today.
Yeah, how about Kentucky and Georgia next week? And Kentucky looked great today in their win over Florida. And the West, I mean, the West is up for grabs. I mean, A&M and Bama will play next week. That ought to be fun.
Yeah.
Jimbo and Nick.
Texas, yeah. Some thoughts and words exchanged over the summertime. Aggies playing with QB2 now. Rogers taking a shot, picked off. Caleb Downs with the INT.
What an outstanding freshman safety for Alabama, leading the team in tackles. Read this all the way. Had his eyes on Rogers the moment he dropped back, and watch him. Number 2 to the left of your screen over here, making a good idea to just watch the quarterback. He's on him. He's on him. He sees it. Third pick of the game for Rogers. And this defense, my friend, elite.
Yes.
Desmond Howard.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by Geico. It's easy to Geico.
And welcome back, everyone, to Starkville, Mississippi. Alabama in control. With 7:38 to go in the fourth quarter. The Tide that far away from improving to 4-1 on the season. Ty Simpson in at quarterback. Hands it off to Jam Miller.
And Milroe is done for the night. Yeah. And look, really efficient night for him at quarterback. 10 of 12, 164 yards passing. Ran the ball really effectively tonight. You see Ty Simpson there.
I'll tell you what. Call him climate change, because after that initial series, he changed the temperature of this game.
Yeah, he did.
In a big way.
53-yard scramble for a touchdown. Quieted the crowd. Got Nick Saban happy. Got the offense going.
I wouldn't say happy, but yeah. Quarterback Simpson tripped up in the backfield. Nice play there by Russell.
The other thing about Milroe is just the decision-making tonight.
Okay.
When you add that to the way he played in the second half last week against South Carolina, you start to see how this team can come together. What do we learn tonight?
That this offense is a work in progress, and the defense will hold them up until they develop into whatever they're going to become.
And we see Milroe growing as a quarterback.
Yeah.
He didn't make bad decisions tonight.
3rd down and 10 for Simpson. Incomplete. Intended for Hale. It'll be 4th down. You know, getting back to Milroe, I used that analogy earlier, the one that Coach Saban talked about. I just want him to be like a good point guard. 14 assists, get the ball to the shooters.
Yeah.
Did he fit it tonight?
Yeah, he took it to heart. And like I said, his decision-making, didn't force the ball. We saw him do that last week in the first half against South Carolina. Since then, no. You know, he made sure he did what he needed to do. As you see Latham on the right side. Did he jump there?
They're pointing at Russell, too.
Maybe Russell forced him.
Offside.
Yeah.
Defense number 36. The movement by the defense caused the offense to wrap. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
Distribute the ball to your weapons, but who are the primary weapons, and what do we learn about the Crimson Tide wide receivers tonight? I mean, Jermaine Burton really quiet. Jalen Hale, who I like, is only a freshman, 14 in white. He got some reps recently, but no one's jumping off the page at me right now, Rod.
Yeah, you know, Q, they don't have anything on the outside like they've had the last several years, where they had first-round pick after first-round pick. I mean, that receiving core is a work in progress.
And Reichert, in the meantime and in between time, goes 4 for 4 tonight.
He's money, huh? Cash,
24 in a row, dating back to last year, as the margin swells to 40-17. On the verge of making it 16 consecutive wins against Mississippi State. Coach Saban is smiling. He just hasn't told his base yet. Welcome back, everyone, to Starkville. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Geico. Mark Jones chopping it up with Rod Gilmore. Quinn Kessenich down in the field. Glad you tapped in tonight. This SEC West battle. Second half, it's been one-sided in favor of the Tide. Thomas on the return, getting up the sideline. And a good form tackle by the kicker. That's why you see the extra love being shown. Gotta love when that happens. Connor Talty.
And you know, when your kicker is willing to, front up a guy and wrap up.
Come on, man.
Shoulder tackle. I mean, they're probably going to clip that and put it on the reel for highlights.
He tried to play it cool, like, yeah, I do this.
I might not tackle during practice, but I do remember from high school how to do it.
You're going to go right over there to defensive coaches and say, hey, coach, let me spin. Let me get some reps. Davis in the backfield. Rodgers hands it off. Here's Davis turning the corner. Determined, authoritative run, picking up the first down.
You know, Jonesy, Q was talking about the ineffectiveness, so to speak, of the wide receivers for Alabama. Well, you can't have a first-round pick every year. And you look at what they've done. Even Alabama?
Okay.
And it seems like they've had a whole bunch. Look at this. They've had the most wide receivers drafted since 2019. And it seemed like almost every one of them was a first-round pick.
Right. Rodgers pulls, completes it. Just shy of the 40-yard line to Harmon. There has been a procession of prolific professionals that began in Tuscaloosa.
Judy, Ruggs, Waddle, Devontae Smith, Jamison Williams.
Hey, man, Coach Saban jump on that PJ and pop into gym class at lunchtime in South Florida and come back and have a couple commitments in his pocket, too. Lee on the run. Got the first down.
You asked Nick Saban the other day about staying in touch with his former players. He's like, I got 83 guys in the NFL. I can't talk to every one of them. They come back around when they're not playing, but I can't make 83 phone calls every day.
A bunch of them.
But, I do agree with Q that in order for Bama to win a championship, they're going to need big plays out of their wide receivers at some point.
Rodgers taking a shot and incomplete. One of those defensive players for Alabama that are in the league right now. Jordan Battle, former safety, now with the Bengals, doing a great job. Was a star here for Alabama and in the SEC, one of the best in the secondary. 2nd and 10 coming up.
Mississippi State will live to fight another day. Zach Arnett told us yesterday, season goes on no matter what happens against Alabama.
He didn't want to make this game too insignificant and too big. Lee on the run, close to another first down, but there's a flag down.
Illegal formation. Offense, more than 4 players lined up in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
So Zach Arnett knows that he's got a rough schedule ahead, but the goal is to make a bowl game. They were 8-4 last season, played on January 2nd.
Right.
He took over this program after Mike Leach, our friend, suddenly and shockingly passed away of a heart attack. And Zach Arnett is one of the youngest coaches in college football.
A Rocky Long disciple as well. Nice pass complete. That's Roberson. And we stopped up short of the first down. 3rd down coming up for the Bulldogs with 3:45 to go.
Just thinking about what the Bulldogs need to do is we see another Alabama player down. Can't see the number. Is that Latham? I think it is.
We'll find out on the other side of this break. Back here in Starkville, Bulldogs with the football. 3rd and 5, and Marshall making this stop on the play. Scott Van Pelt coming up. Right after the game, 3:16 to go. Alabama going to improve to 4-1.
We saw Latham go down.
Right.
It was good to see him go off the field, so we hope it's nothing serious.
From the 28. Been a real quiet night for Tulu Griffin. Rogers got rid of it. Incomplete. Broken up by Kool-Aid.
At recovery speed, Kool-Aid, you know, his given name is JaQuincy, but his grandmother named him Kool-Aid after, remember the Kool-Aid ad?
Yeah.
With the mug of Kool-Aid?
Oh, man. A lot of sugar in that thing.
Yeah.
A lot of sugar in that. Hey, man, one drink and that's diabetes. Automatic. My favorite color was red, Rod. I don't know about you. I like red Kool-Aid.
Purple, man.
Purple Kool-Aid?
Purple. Was that called grape or something?
Kool-Aid McKinstry with a nice pass break up there. He is rarely tried by teams when they throw. They usually go to the other side and try Arnold. Haynes in the backfield, takes the handoff straight ahead. Plows forward for about 3 yards, 2:40 to go. Hey, Kool-Aid actually has an NIL deal with Kool-Aid. I mean,
really?
Oh, yeah, that's natural. He does, though, yeah. I mean, you could walk into that one.
I wonder how much Kool-Aid he has to drink or actually drinks.
Free product.
Little cash and a little product.
His game is sugar-free, no business. All business.
See what you did there.
2nd and 7. A yawning hole up the middle. Great balance by Haynes. Justice Haynes with a nice gain.
Talk about being athletic. How about that? Hand down, keep your balance. Getting some other backs in there to get a little work.
Great agility there. McClellan, Williams, Haynes. So Miller in as well. First and 10. 2-yard gain on the play by Haynes. Hey, speaking of Alabama players in the league who are doing exceptionally well.
83 of them, yeah.
Hey, my Miami Dolphins, Dade County guy, you know, live down in Miami. Tua, he's killing it right now.
Yeah.
70, they hung 70 on Denver.
On Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos, yeah.
7-0.
23 of 26. Ouch.
Gave them work.
Hey, you know, Dolphins can make a run this year.
It might take a while for that 1972 West Super Bowl group to pop those customary bottles of champagne that they do every year as soon as that edition's year of the Dolphins loses its first game. Haynes on the run.
But it's good to see Tua healthy and playing so well after having a couple years
of
concussions and the like. It's just good to see him out there, you know, living his best life, playing his best ball.
Hey, his brother's playing great football at Maryland too. They're undefeated at 5-0. Mike Loxley doing a great job. Former Nick Saban assistant, part of the coaching tree. 3rd and 6 coming up. Coach Saban is only upset about one thing, that he still can't play lunchtime basketball, those pickup games, because of hip surgery.
He keeps track of the winning streak.
44 straight. And tonight is his 150th SEC win. The final tally, 40-17. As they defeat Mississippi State for the 16th consecutive time. They improve to 4-1. For Rod Gilmore, Quint Kesnick, and our talented crew in the truck you never get a chance to see, I'm Mark Jones saying good night from Start Vegas. So long, everybody.